yeah, I still haven't made any progress. Alright, so welcome back, guys. As you can see, not much has changed over the winter. It's been cold, I don't have an insulated garage, and any money. Work was slow, we're just starting to pick up, which means I'm going to be able to invest more money into this machine. I don't know how much time I'll be able to invest with it. I have a lot of other projects going on, but progress will happen. Right now I'm doing some tearing apart of the inside, doing a little... trying something out in the trunk, and then I'm going to go through and drop probably the gas tank and start welding in some patches. I may have to do a whole pan, depends on what it looks like when I get there. I mean, you can see some of these areas are pretty bad in here, and once I grind it down, I'll see what is what as far as material left. Maybe I'll be able to patch some areas, maybe I'll have to just get whole new pans, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And then I see the pads out. I'll go through some of that. I wanted to fix up the change out the light switch, as well as suggest something else I can't remember at the moment. But then I want to also refinish the dash pad and try something out with that. Something that's going to match the door panels once I get to that point. But the weather's also, because it's been so cold, paint and stuff like that are not going to adhere. So I had to wait for it to kind of warm up a little bit. So that's my excuse there. But thanks for sticking with me. I am going to start making more progress on this. Additionally, I'm going to probably buy a microphone, because listening to some of my older videos, it had come to the realization that I am even more low-toned and muffly and mumbly than I had anticipated. So let's make it where not just you guys can hear me, but I can hear me. And hopefully you guys will stick with me and stick with the progress, and we'll make it happen. Some of the things I'm looking to fix up this year after I get the pans done, I would like to do the window seals shortly after that, just because I can't even wash the thing because it'll just start pouring inside. So I want to get those. I have to pull both windshields out so I can replace those seals. I mean, and they are pretty rock hard right now. And I got the door seals as well. I'm going to probably go through and paint all of these trim in black when I do that. Probably going to hurt some feelings, but it is what it is. It's my car. You already see I blacked out the front, and I love how that turned out. And then probably the next big purchase is going to be a pair of disc brakes for the front, because drums suck, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at. Stick with me. We're gonna keep it moving forward and keep you guys updated. Work doesn't exactly leave me a lot of time to, or rather a lot of money to work on this thing. Hours have been low, so I haven't been able to buy parts. And the time that I do have, I've been making my 3D printed gauge bezels here. I got all the ones that I've made in right now. Finishing tweaking up a little bit on this guy right here, but that one will be available soon as well. And then these two are going to be blanks for people who want to make like switch panels and whatnot. But that's all of them right there. And then obviously different variations of this guy. But that's not what this video is about. The original dash panel did not work, or at least illuminate and anything like that when I got the car. From what I read, the light switch is a pretty common culprit of that, and I know mine has been kind of finicky. I did swap out the dimmer switch down there. That didn't help. So I picked up this guy from, I don't even remember at this point. I don't know, probably eBay first, all I remember. But we're going to swap that guy in. I'm not very familiar in how it comes out and goes back in, so we're going to figure it out, and hopefully that's going to fix my issue, so at least I'll have power in the original dash before I go ahead and swap over to this and have to just rewire everything anyways, but we'll figure it out. Let's see. And there's a couple other things I have planned as well. Obviously not in this video. Oh man, I got some pretty bad flaking going on here. Nice. Quality paint job. Anyways, I'm going to pull this bumper off repolish that whole thing, pull these lights all out, the gas cap off and everything, box cylinder. I'm going to repaint the black on this so it matches the black that I've been using in the front. Just kind of freshen everything up so they have a nice good look to them. I might go ahead and take this trim off as well and do that black just so it kind of matches the scheme that I have going. I'll see how well it cleans up first. Alright, just want to catch you up a little bit on the progress that I've made and how to do it. So this right here is the light switch. Back here, just behind this block area, you press that button and then you can pull the light switch out. I'll try to display it here, kind of hard with only having one hand and then one on the camera. So pressing it in the bottom, and then see, you can kind of pull it out and it'll come all the way out, and you can slide it out from that spot right there. From that point, you can kind of see it's like a T. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't know how to do these. I got some help from the guys on the Facebook groups, and they were super supportive and very quick to respond and let me know how to do this, because I was kind of at a loss. Couldn't get these things to budge. Fortunately, they knew and told me pretty quickly before I destroyed something. But yeah, so this is how you do it. You can either buy a socket or make a tool, or if you have a large enough flathead, you can kind of get in here. Mine is barely big enough, but it's in there pretty tight, and then it'll kind of start unthreading from there, and you should be able to, once you get it loose enough, back out the whole switch, and it'll be into relatively close to how that one looks there. There's threads going inside of there, and I'm sure that's essentially how this is going to look. I'll update you guys once I get it completely out. As for the window washer, I'm going to pull that out as well. I had some issues with it. It was working at first and it wasn't. Fuse seemed to be good. I'm going to pull the switch out and see if, even if I jump it or anything like that, if it'll work or not. Let me know if it's the switch. Then additionally, I'm going to take the dash pad out while I have everything out. And the last screw, I believe, is going to be kind of back behind here. But I need to get these both out of the way so I can have access to it. So as far as taking that guy out, first you have this little knobby deal on there. Now if you look inside of there, it's kind of like it'll be almost like a V-shaped bracket spring type thing. And then there's that notch in there. So you are going to, I'll just sit right there, come around from the face of it with a pick and press down on that guy to compress it. Once it's straightened out in there, you can back the switch out that way, and then once that's loose, you can push it through and it'll come out the back side. But this is going to allow you to get to that same position that you have the other one in, where you can kind of put that flathead in there and turn it, and hopefully this one's going to come loose as well. Let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to pull both of those off, and then I'll kind of update you guys once I get to that point. Alright, so we got them all disconnected. Like I said, once you get those unthreaded, it pretty much pushes through. So here is the light switch. That's the plug that pulls out of it. This is the new one that I have in place. This is the bracket that they actually go into. Let's see, that's the wiper part that goes on there. Where is the, oh, over here. Okay, so this is how that part looks once you unthread it, and you can see it kind of just threads into the switch itself. So hopefully this old one was bad and that's why I was having those issues, but I guess we'll find out. And then here's a look at the wiper switch. The back end of that is the actual plug, and then the front half of that is the switch itself. It's kind of hard to get into and mess with right now. I might just jump the power to it and kind of take it from there. Take a look at the wiring diagram first. So that's that. I'm gonna pull that last bolt out of the dash cover and get that out of there so I can refinish that. I might even paint the dash while I have this all out. But then we'll put everything back together, and hopefully that's going to be the end of my issues with the dash. Otherwise, I might just say forget it and run my own power and stuff to these anyways, because I mean I'll probably end up just going with aftermarket dash after a while anyways. So alright, let's get back to work. So as you can see, everything's still torn apart. I'm getting distracted per the norm. I ended up pulling the dash cover off so I can get access to the bolts, or I guess the assembly for the headlight and wiper switches. And I'm going to go ahead and refinish those while I have it all apart, as well as the lower dash part. So I still have to go through the upper dash. There's a nice crack in here. I'm going to see what I can do to kind of mend that back together and fill it. And then here's the lower, and I kind of taped off some areas. I was going to go through and maybe wrap it with a fabric or even just a vinyl, but since it has these little grooves in here, I'm worried about those showing or causing bubbles. So I'm just going to go ahead and respray this not red, because I hate how the red looks, especially, you know, considering the fact that this was a green car that they painted orange and then they painted the interior red, and it just makes no sense to me. But that's what we're going to go through. I'm going to spray both of these. That one may take a while I try to figure out a way to mend that back together, but then we'll kind of start reassembling everything. So that's essentially the color it's going to be. It's kind of like a grayish. So let's see. I'm not sure how well you can capture it, you know, in the sun as it is. It's a little off from what I was thinking. I was hoping it was going to be kind of a darker gray, but it's almost a slight brown to it. But I used the vinyl fabric paint on it. Hopefully that'll hold up well. I probably will go ahead and just throw a clear coat on there anyways, matte clear coat, just for a peace of mind, and then we'll move on to the dash cover. Alright, so it's been a while again. This is the piece that ready. Can actually, oh yeah, that's good, that wipes off. Okay, and I actually do like how it turns out now, having the whole thing done. I went through and refinished some of this black area. I mean, it's not the best. You can kind of see where, I don't know, it wasn't cleaning up, but I just resprayed it after I taped everything off. And I do like how this gray looks in the long run. I'm sure this light doesn't do it any justice, but I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Looks like I got a little bit of overspray there, but it is what it is. The next part is going to be this dash pad that I have to finish epoxying this little seam. That looks like a crack, but it's, if I can get some better lighting, but that still needs to be filled further before I can kind of sand it down and make it where it's going to be flush and not be seen once I lay the adhesive and the fabric over it. You can see it still kind of squishes down right here too. So I want to get these two areas bonded together before, same with this, before I can go ahead and get it to a place where I can sand the whole thing down, spray adhesive it, and put the fabric on it. This is going to be the fabric that I'm going with. It's a marine grade vinyl, so it's nice and thick and it has some stretch to it, and I think it's going to look real good along, you know, with that lower trim for the dash. After that, or at least while that whole thing is going to be curing, I'm going to go ahead and probably start sanding down the upper dash here and these lower areas so I can essentially rattle bomb it. I'm going to primer and spray it with a nice black that's going to match the lower area and pretty much have that just about all ready to put back together. You can still see the light switch and turn or wipers are just kind of hanging out over there. I haven't tested them yet, but that's going to be where this is at the moment. And then I'm also going to be taking off the factory steering wheel. Sorry, I mean, let me know if anybody wants it. I don't really care for it. And I picked up this install kit. It's a Grant kit, number 329. So hopefully this is the right kit that's going to work for me. And then just some knockoff steering wheel. I mean, it looks neat and it's kind of a nice soft cloth. I don't know, whatever. I like it better than the factory one, so we'll put that in and hopefully that'll look a lot better than what's in here, or at least it's going to match the scheme that I get. So that's where it at. Stick with me. I'll keep you guys updated as I go along and refinish this upper dash pad. And then hopefully that turns out and I can start putting the whole thing back together. And thanks for watching. I'll keep you guys updated.